I'm not really sure how to talk about this, but I won my first MA3 tournament in just 8 months of playing disc golf. Keep on watching this video. What's up, everybody? Chris Lee back with another Just Throw a Disc Golf video. And right now, I have a lot of emotions going on right now. I don't even know where to start. So for myself, I just want to say that in 8 months of playing disc golf, I finally won my first MA3 tournament.
MA3, Chris Lee. Chris!
I don't really have words to say. It's kind of tough to express because I've been going through a lot of challenges the past 8 months of trying to do form change and work on my putts and having days to where I've been feeling like I need some time off and finding good crowds and finding bad crowds and finding people who want to help me with disc golf and finding people who don't really want to see me do well in disc golf. It's just been a lot of different challenges, right? And some of you may or may not know about that type of stuff, but for myself, there's just some things that I've experienced. But for me, just to come out and continuously put in the work that I put in and actually go out and win my first tournament was huge. For me, I play Red Mountain North in Arizona, which is, I guess what most say a pretty difficult course. I've only been playing that course. I've only played that course a total of maybe 6 times. And that is a pretty difficult course. But it was just the coolest experience ever. I think what made it really cool today was I got to, first off, card with a guy named Mario. Shout out to him. I just met him not too long ago and we've played a couple rounds together, and to be able to get on the card with somebody that I actually knew was kind of cool. Actually, I think it kind of helped me relax a little bit more as well, because I just came off a season from coaching. I hadn't had a whole lot of time to really focus and put my mind to disc golf. And to be able to stop the whole season of youth football and be done with that, and then to come in to a tournament pretty much fresh and win it is huge for me. I can tell you right now, the way that I played on the card, it was a little bit hit and miss for me. I had spent 2 days this past week basically trying to practice on this course. And the first day, I didn't shoot great, but I shot okay. And it was me kind of trying to get in the rhythm. And then the second day, I went to go shoot again. The second day, I went to go shoot again, and I had two rounds actually, with a buddy of mine. Shout out to James Fisher. He was one of the first people to actually introduce me to disc golf, or kind of get me started, if you will. I kind of was doing some research, and he was like, dude, I play disc golf. And he kind of showed me the ropes on how to throw at that particular course. I think the first time I played with him at that course, I believe it was pretty bad. I didn't score well. So I kind of wanted to stay away from that course because I didn't play well. And I didn't know much about hyzer or anhyzer, or my form wasn't good. My putting wasn't good. I was just kind of going out there and kind of just throwing a disc. Because that's what the name of my channel is, Just Throw It. I wanted to pick up a disc and just throw it. So I ended up spending more time trying to get better. And then I went to go play different courses, like, on Flagstaff and other courses around Arizona. And gradually I got better and better over the short time. And what made me better was actually going out and playing with a bunch of people around me in my area who aren't afraid to get out and go play disc golf with me. Yes, I play a lot. Some people called it overkill. Some people said that I play too much. Some people said that, I practice too much, whatever the case may be. But I'm proud of having that type of drive to be good at something, because I believe that if I wouldn't have put in the work that I've put in up until this point, I don't think that I would have won this MA3 tournament. I don't think that I would even have the confidence to try to go out and play. Yes, I still deal with a lot of mental things that's going on in my head, and I let a lot of little things get to me, but I went out and played. Well, long story short, I went ahead and practiced a second day. And the second day I practiced was actually yesterday before the tournament. Now, most people won't do that before a tournament, but I wanted to go ahead and get more familiar with the course and where they had the new baskets and, how they were going to do the course and things like that. So my first round was pretty good. I ended up shooting 5 down. I actually thought that was pretty good for me. on that particular course. And then the second round, I ended up losing my disc. I think I lost like 3 discs. I wasn't shooting great. Stuff started to get in my head. I started to miss some easy putts. And the second round wasn't that good. It was +1, but that's still not bad for that course. But my point is that I only shot 2 rounds because I wanted to go into the tournament with some type of confidence of what I was going to do. And I think it did help me out when it was actually time for me to get into the tournament, okay? It means something to me to only be playing 8 months and actually to win this MA3 tournament, because I am a humble man when it comes to winning anything. I don't like to boast. I don't like to show off. I don't like to talk trash about other people's successes. I want to see everybody play well. I want to see everybody do well. Even if we're competing against each other, I'm not necessarily competing against other people, but more so myself and a course. And this journey so far has its rewards. You know, it has its pros, it has its cons. And right now, this is just a pro for me. Mario played great. We were pretty much neck and neck. I missed so many birdies. I missed so many birdies. I think I missed like 5 easy birdie putts. Honestly, realistically, just being honest, I should have shot 8 under. The truth is yes, I had a little tournament jitters, but the reality is I didn't trust the process. And what I mean by that is when I was about to putt, I was lined up right. Every putt that I did, with the exception of one, hit the front of cage, period. And a little inch over, I would have been in a basket, okay? So a lot of the putts, what I was overthinking about, I was like, you know, these baskets are kind of low. I need to go ahead and shoot. Just don't overshoot it. That's what I kept telling myself. And honestly, I shouldn't have did that. You know, I talked about in the last video that you need to shoot confidently. And unfortunately, it's not the easiest thing to do when it comes to a tournament. You want to shoot confidently and you want to miss confidently. And I took my shot. My lines and my lanes were good, but I was just a little short hitting the front of cage when I putted. So I missed about 5 birdie shots. Some of them were pretty difficult, and I pretty much was parked. I didn't get it. You know, I didn't seal the deal, and I should have, and I ended up taking a 3 on some holes or whatever. There's a positive in that, because now I know that next time it's time for me to shoot, I got to go into it with the mentality that, hey, dude, you can miss regardless. It doesn't matter. Just shoot the putt, and whatever happens, happens. That's what I need to do, because I kept kind of trying to be like, trying to finesse it and try to be, you know, afraid to just really follow through, kind of tossing it in instead of actually reaching out and following through. Like I said, I didn't do that. And that's the reason why I missed some putts, okay? I went into the round before the last 2 holes. I was sitting somewhere in like 3rd, okay? There was one guy on my card. Shout out to Charlie, I believe his name was. This guy was really good. He started off really good. He started off really strong. And there were some holes on that course that just require you to take your medicine and move on, okay? I did something really risky. I believe it was hole 18. If anybody know what that hole is, it's like the mulch. It's a par 4, but it has a mando. You got to shoot around and take those 4 shots to try to go ahead and get par on that hole. Well, I had so many of my friends and people before me, before the tournament started, that said, hey, dude, hole 18, don't mess around with it. Don't take a risk. Don't try to shoot over the top, because you're going to get yourself in trouble, and you may end up taking an 8. You may end up taking a 7 or something worse. I thought about it the entire time, and then I came up to the hole, and guess what? I pitched up. I hit a tree. It wasn't the greatest shot, but I told myself, you know what, man? If you risk this, you can risk losing a tournament altogether. Okay, you can really hurt yourself, or you can be confident and you can go for it. And dude, I went for it. I shot a shot over the trees. And the risky part about this particular hole is there's like a pathway with mulch, and a basket is in like the middle of it. But surrounding it is a bunch of trees and big bushes and all that type of stuff that you can really get OB in, and you can really lose your disc and not be able to find your disc. It's a very tricky shot, and it's a hole that you can really get yourself in trouble in if you try to go over top. It's just best to pitch around and take your 4. I went ahead and went for it, and I actually shot a high hyzer over the trees, and I landed about 15 or something like that. out from the basket. And when I landed out from the basket, that was my second shot. I actually made my birdie putt. So I took a birdie on that hole. And the guys who were doing much better than me on the card ended up taking a 6 or worse. Everybody wanted to kind of run it. Everybody took their chances. Some guys did actually good. They landed in the mulch, but kind of far away. And another guy landed even closer to the basket than me. I thought it was a great shot. He was unsure of how to take it, but he did it. I would say that it paid off. It could have either worked in my favor or not work in my favor. But it definitely worked in my favor. And that kind of helped me in a tournament because a lot of those guys took some unnecessary strokes that they didn't need. That didn't benefit them throughout the round. But I will say with Charlie played a great round. I think he ended up shooting even or something like that. But regardless, that guy ended up shooting like 6 more birdies or something like that. And I'm just like, yo, I'm hanging on strong because I don't like to know the score or anything like that. But I was just super proud and I was super pumped up to watch him because I didn't care if he was going to come back and beat me because I was like, this dude deserves it. If you're shooting this well and you're getting birdie after birdie after birdie after birdie, I think he took 1 bogey after that and then like 2 more birdies or something like that. I was just like, yo, if this dude is playing this well, and I don't know if it's that many birdies, but this dude definitely had like 4 or 5 birdies. Okay, all the strokes that he had gained or whatever that, you know, from taking on a particular hole, he was just getting all that stuff back, you know. So I just thought it was great to see him play so well. I think he told me he'd been playing over 2 years or something like that. It kind of inspired me just to keep it going. So that's what I did. Like, I just kept it going. I was like, yo, at this point, because I remember saying a negative comment, and I wasn't trying to be negative. I was just trying to say, you know what? I don't care whether I win or lose. I'm just enjoying this. I'm enjoying the disc golf. I'm enjoying the company. I'm enjoying the people that I'm playing with. I'm just enjoying the experience. But I told myself eventually that, dude, you got to hang on. Okay, so we get to the hole before, 2 holes before the last one. I was sitting pretty good. I wasn't necessarily winning, but I was in a good spot. I think I was tied at one point. Then I turned around and threw a bogey on a hole that I've been birdieing the past 2 days. And I'm just like, dude, are you serious? So I turned around and that was kind of a little bit discouraging. I think some of the other guys, I believe one guy, Mario, I believe he got a birdie on a card. And that was a little bit discouraging to me. And not because he got a birdie, but because I threw a bogey and I didn't need to throw a bogey on that hole because I know the line. And I've been doing so well with it, but I threw it up a little bit higher and the wind took it out and I barely went out of bounds. So I had to go ahead and take a bogey on that. And then I had a challenging hole on the next hole to where you got to throw past like a cul-de-sac and try to get near the basket. So 2 guys parked it. And unfortunately, I threw mine and I believe I threw my crave. Okay, I threw my crave. And when I threw my crave, I took a hyzer line over, and I was like, man, it'd be good. I'll land in a decent spot, hopefully. I didn't. I landed in a tree and landed right beside a tree that was away from the basket with more bushes and trees in front of me. And I pretty much had to get under there, kneel down, and take my mid-range because I didn't want to use a putter. I wanted to use a heavy mid-range, so I went ahead and used my Matrix Electron. And I had to pretty much just shoot the shot under the bushes and hope that I landed somewhere near the basket. I shot that shot. I landed perfectly under the basket, luckily right next to the basket, and I was able to go ahead and take a 3 on that hole. Went on the next hole. It was a little bit challenging as well. I ended up getting a birdie on that hole. That was a birdie that I absolutely needed. I ended up hitting a rock again. But when it hit the rock this time, it kind of flipped up and I said, okay, I got like a little putt. So I got like 15 or something like that or whatever. And since I had a putt, about 15, 20, something like that. Since I had a putt, I said, dude, you got to make this putt. Don't even think about everybody else. You just have to make this putt. So I went ahead, lined myself up, and I kept my focus and I zoned in and I followed through and I made the putt. I was super happy about that. Then we came to the last hole. The last hole is super challenging because it was a Mando. And I'm sorry I didn't get any footage. I wanted to get footage so I can show you guys what I did. But it's basically like a forehand hole. Okay, and you guys know I'm not really strong with that. So you got to pitch up straight, get Mando left of the tree, and the basket is up over the hill to the right. You can't even see the basket near a light pole. So imagine going straight up over a hill, and then there's a big light pole, and the basket is right next to that. That's pretty much where I had to shoot. So I didn't have a lane. If you go too far straight, then you risk going OB into the other hole. So I was like, you know what? I've been trying to forehand. My forehands have been short. My forehands have been iffy. I don't want to hit a tree and risk this. I'm just going to take a safe shot. So I ended up taking my uplink from MVP. I believe this is MVP. Yeah, from MVP, and shooting this. And I know that this disc, when it comes out, it's going to kind of go to the right. So it came out, it went to the right, and I almost smacked the tree. I had a fear that I was going to do that anyway, so I should have got that out of my head and kind of released it more on a hyzer, or released it more to the left. So I threw this, and I barely missed the tree. Unfortunately, I wasn't close enough to get a look at the basket, so I then had to shoot a forehand. And again, my forehands have not been great lately. They've gotten a lot better, but not confident enough to be shooting them in a tournament. So I ended up using my Axiom Fireball disc. This disc is so stupidly overstable, it's almost not throwable. I use it as a utility disc for tight forehand shots that I need to absolutely bend around some bushes or a tree and kind of get it to absolutely go back to the basket. That's what this was used for. And then if I need to use like a utility shot to basically do like a high hyzer to get it to come right back to the basket, or do like a hyzer spike, or, you know, a thumber shot that I really need to just flip over and stick down to the ground, whatever the case may be. This was money. And I told myself in that moment, I said, dude, this is the shot that's either going to make you lose this tournament, or it can keep you either in a good standing to tie with somebody, or it can potentially make you win. I shot this thing forehand. I was so nervous, but I shot it with the forehand confidently, and that thing went forward and bent around the tree to the basket exactly how I pictured it and how I wanted it to. I guess you can say landed about 10 feet out from the basket, and I was a little nervous, but I said, you know what? I think I can make that putt. It came down to some of the other guys to try to get a good shot. Some of the other guys missed a key shot. They missed some key putts on that hole. And then one of them, Mario, I believe Mario could have actually tied me if he would have made that putt. He shot a great shot with the uplink, the same disc, and he shot it up over the trees, and it landed out from the basket. And I was just like, wow, that was a great shot. He went ahead and took the shot, and he unfortunately missed it. And I wasn't happy that he missed it. I was just like, man, he in such a great spot. If he made that, he deserves it, because he took a great shot over the trees, okay? So once that happened and I finally made my putt, I had realized that, okay, our card was done, but I didn't know that I was in first place on our card yet. I just didn't have any idea, because I don't like to keep score. And since I wasn't keeping score, somebody told me that I was in first. And when they told me I was in first, I was like, wait, I'm in first? Like, does that mean that I won, or how does that work? And they were like, well, somebody else is still playing in our division, and 2 more people can technically tie you for first, or they can actually come back and win it. So I had to wait till they actually played their last card. And when they played their last hole, I had to wait till they actually played their last hole. And when they played their last hole, I seen that I was actually tied with somebody, and I had to do a playoff. And I was super nervous. Never done this before. Never done a playoff before. None of that. And we had to do it on one of the toughest holes at Red Mountain. It was hole 11 with the double Mando. It was Mando through the trees. So you got to throw off the tee pad, throw through the trees, make the Mando. And the basket is out past that, around a bunch of big bushes and trees, and away from the basket. You can't even see it. Number one thing was to actually make the Mando. And once it was time to do a playoff, it was me and a guy from Chicago. Shout out to him. I don't remember his name. I think his name was Steven or something like that, or Steve, something like that. Shout out to him. And then Mario was playing for his playoff as well, I believe for second or third, one of the two. Okay. So we all went to the same hole together, and then we flipped our discs. And once we flipped our discs, we figured out who was going to go first. So the guy who decided to go first, he missed his Mando. And since he missed his Mando, he had to shoot from the drop zone. I shot my shot and barely made it. Barely made inside Mando, left of the tree. If I would have hit the tree, I could have kicked out, but I barely went to the inside, but I did not land in a great spot. I didn't. I landed uphill in some bushes and I did not have a shot. So I basically went from there. The guy took his next shot, which was a great shot. Okay. So since he had to shoot from the drop zone, I think he was taking 3 from there. And that was only going to be my second shot. So he took his next shot and dude was probably 20 something out or maybe 20 from the basket. Easy putt for him, right? Well, I had an upshot and I was under some trees, under some bushes, and guys, I did not have a lane. I said, man, if I just toss it out this way, then I'm pretty sure that the disc is going to come out and fly away from the basket. It wouldn't have been a good shot. I didn't feel comfortable doing it, so I didn't do it. I ended up taking a forehand and trying to force this disc under some bushes, and I failed horribly. I absolutely failed horribly. My disc went about 10 feet, and I was so disappointed. But I never did a playoff before, so I didn't understand what was happening in the process. Long story short, that was only my second shot, and I found out that the guy needed to make his putt. He needed to make his putt. And if he didn't make his putt and I made my putt, then I win. So I went ahead and shot from that next spot. And what I did was I took this same disc and I had an upshot. I didn't have no lane. I had to do this high hyzer spike. And I landed, I think, I landed like less than 10 or about 10 out from the basket. Okay. I landed in a great spot and I was happy about that. Now, here's the issue. This guy had to make this putt, and if he made this putt and I made my putt, we were going to go on to the next hole. And then a next challenging hole after that. I think they said 11B, which was, I would say, okay. I believe it was 11B. But that's a pretty okay hole. I could have probably birdied that. But then I think they said hole 18 or something like that. And I did not want to do 18 again. That was just a very challenging hole. And I think I got pretty lucky, but I trusted that shot because I had been working on it those past 2 days. And I'm really good at doing thumber shots or wide hyzer shots and things like that. So that's something that I did. I like to do hyzer spikes or, thumber shots or whatever, just to get myself out of bad situations. I've been used to doing that because I don't have a forehand. Anyways, long story short, guys, he took his putt. I didn't want to look. I didn't want to look at him. I didn't want to distract him. I stood off and just didn't move a muscle. He took his putt and he fell short. And when he fell short, I took a deep breath, breathe in, breathe out. I took my marker and I said, dude, you got a short putt. Do not overthink this. Do not putt short. Just put the disc in a basket. I walked up to my disc. I lined it up and I shot my disc in a basket and I made my putt and the playoff was over. I won my MA3 tournament. The guy had a good spirit about it. Shout out to him. I didn't know what to feel because I've never been in that type of predicament with disc golf. I'm a natural athlete, so I've done it in football, basketball, track, all these different sports. Track is one of the main sports that it's really just you as an individual. You got to perform well. Of course, you're competing against other people, but you got to be able to try to come back and win from behind. And that was a moment that I felt like, yo, I'm pretty overwhelmed with the emotions right now. I don't know what to feel. But this is crazy. Like, did I really just win my first MA3 tournament? And I did. I am super happy about this. I was super overwhelmed with the emotions. I didn't know what to feel. I know it's not a big deal to certain people, but I have listened to some negativity about I can't throw a certain number or shoot under a certain number because I don't have enough experience, or I can't, I won't shoot a certain number under because it took them however many years, or I can't win a tournament because it took them however many years. To be 8 months in and to go ahead and win a MA3 tournament, it's a big deal to me. It means something to me because all the work that I put in, all the time that I put in, all the effort that I put in, just getting out there to the course and actually just shooting and constantly practicing and trying to get better. it means something to me to go ahead and accomplish this. Now, am I going to use it as a thing to rub into people's face? Nope, because I'm not like that. I'm not like that at all. I am happy. I'm proud of myself. I'm proud that my wife and kids are happy for me and proud of me. I'm proud and happy that the people that I've been playing with are happy for me. This proves that I can do it. This proves that I can make it happen and I can win again. I just want to say that I hope this inspires somebody to go out, practice, pick up a disc, don't stress, and just throw it, especially if you're new to disc golf, right? But also work hard for something that you want. And if you think you're good at something or you want to get good at something, go ahead and put the work in. Don't listen to no negativity. You know, some people may have opinions and they may not be trying to tear you down. I'm not saying that every person was trying to tear me down. I'm just saying that sometimes people need to be mindful of what they say. Just because they didn't accomplish something in a certain amount of time doesn't mean that I can't accomplish it. And the same thing for the next person, you know. So with that being said, thank you for supporting me. Thank you for helping me on my disc golf journey. Thank you for subscribing to the channel, guys. I want to get over 1,000 subscribers so I can definitely start trying to make some money on this channel. But not only that, I can continue to put out more content for you guys. And I just really want you guys to continue to support me. I hope that my videos are helping you guys out. If so, please let me know. I would love to become friends with some of you guys. If you guys living out in the area in Phoenix or you living out in Arizona, Santan, Queen Creek, you play at Ironwood, you play Johnson Ranch, whatever the case may be, guys, let me know. I would love to come out and play around with you guys. Definitely would love to play around with you guys. You can catch me at Rob Simmons, playing rounds, Ironwood, whatever the case may be. Thank you for supporting me. Thank you for watching my channel. Thank you for being a Just Throw It Disc Golf supporter. You can do anything that you put your mind to, but you got to cut out the distractions. You got to make sacrifices. You got to cut out all the negativity. You got to remove yourself from all the people who make you think that whatever your dreams or aspirations are unrealistic. You got to remove them. You got to take any barrier, stronghold, distraction, and remove it out of your life so you can reach your goals. You can do it. Don't let nobody tell you that you can't. I can do it. I will continue to do it, and I will get better. With that being said, if you're new to disc golf, pick up a disc, don't stress, and just throw it.